Imagine for a moment that the universe is not some distant, mysterious force, but a living system of response, a cosmic echo chamber that never stops listening to the vibration of your words. Florence Scovel Shinn, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of practical manifestation, taught that your speech is your wand. Every phrase, every declaration, is a brushstroke painting the reality you walk into tomorrow. Most people wander through life unaware that their daily self-talk is a set of instructions sent to the invisible. They complain, doubt, and joke about their misfortunes, not realizing they are writing their next chapter with invisible ink. The universe isn't ignoring them. It's simply fulfilling orders exactly as received. When you say, "I'm always running out of money," you've just issued a command. And like a diligent cosmic messenger, the universe responds, order confirmed. What Florence understood, long before quantum theories or motivational seminars, is that words are seeds. You plant them into the subconscious soil of your own mind, and they sprout into experience. This isn't superstition. It's the oldest law of cause and effect. Your tongue is the steering wheel of destiny. Think about it. If every word you spoke today was going to show up on your doorstep tomorrow, how carefully would you speak? Most of us have been unknowingly summoning confusion, scarcity, and delay by speaking as victims instead of creators. We've been fluent in the language of limitation. And yet, the universe is far simpler than we think. It listens without judgment, without sarcasm, without hesitation. It doesn't analyze your mood or guess your intention. It takes your declaration at face value. Florence Scovel Shinn used to remind her students, the game of life is not one of chance, but of spoken word. Every "I can't," "I'm tired," or "I never have enough" is a password locking doors that should be open. The good news is that new passwords exist. Words that unlock favor, health, and prosperity. The first step is awareness. Start noticing the way you describe yourself and your circumstances. The moment you say, "I am," you've picked up the cosmic microphone. Whatever follows becomes your request to the infinite. If you declare, "I am overwhelmed," the universe amplifies that signal. If you affirm, "I am calm and capable," that too becomes your order. It's not magic. It's alignment. Science agrees with what Florence taught spiritually. The human mind filters reality through expectation. When you tell yourself you're unlucky, your brain, through its reticular activating system, will only show you proof of bad luck. Missed calls, traffic jams, cancelled plans. But when you declare, "I am guided," "I am fortunate," your perception changes. Suddenly, opportunities that were always there start to sparkle in your awareness. You didn't summon them from nowhere. You simply tuned to a new frequency. Most people spend years trying to change outer circumstances without realizing that outer reality is a delayed reflection of inner language. You cannot speak of fear and expect peace. You cannot repeat lack and manifest plenty. You can't chant chaos and hope for clarity. Your words are not random. They are programming. They sculpt your energetic blueprint. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the law of substitution. Whenever you replace a negative statement with a positive one, you override the old order with a new one. You change the direction of your creative force. Let's take an example. Imagine someone who constantly says, "I'm exhausted. I never have enough time." Life will echo back situations that prove them right. Endless chores, restless nights, delays. Now imagine they begin saying, "I'm refreshed and focused. Time expands for what matters." Within days, their behavior, mood, and perception start aligning with that new instruction. They notice moments of calm that they used to overlook. They feel inspired to organize differently. They begin living the energy they speak. Florence often reminded her students that truth spoken with conviction dissolves old patterns faster than years of worry. When you declare, "I am abundant," even before you see evidence, you activate a law that rearranges your surroundings to match your belief. But here's the nuance she insisted on. You can't just parrot phrases with empty emotion. The universe isn't impressed by fake positivity. It responds to authentic vibration. That means you must speak your new declarations with sincerity, not forced excitement, but genuine willingness to believe in something better. Words are the bridge between the visible and the invisible. When you speak deliberately, you're not begging the universe for help, you're authorizing it to move. You become a co-creator rather than a spectator. Florence called this the divine dialogue. The more consciously you speak, the clearer your conversation with the infinite becomes. The trick is consistency. Just as you wouldn't expect a plant to bloom after one watering, your language must become a daily ritual. Each word is a drop that nourishes your manifestation garden. So here's your challenge. For the next day, become aware of every I am you utter. When you catch yourself speaking weakness, stop and translate it into power. I am learning instead of I'm lost. I am becoming stronger instead of I can't handle this. Even if it feels awkward, persist. Every language feels strange before it feels natural. You are rewiring your entire energetic system to align with abundance, not struggle. And remember, your new language doesn't just change your future, it changes how the universe recognizes you. Because here's the secret Florence Scovel Shinn wanted the world to grasp. The universe doesn't respond to who you think you are, it responds to who you say you are. Each word is a signal flare shot into the unseen, and the cosmos rushes to deliver matching circumstances. Speak wisely. Speak boldly. Speak life. There's a rhythm to creation that begins with the tongue. Long before an event manifests, it's been rehearsed in the silent theater of your thoughts and narrated by the words you repeat daily. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed that speech is not casual. It is creative power in motion. When you talk about lack, you extend it. When you speak of victory, you summon it. Words are not merely sound. They're frequencies shaping the invisible field around you. Every I am, I have, and I choose is an energetic signature broadcast to the universe, which responds with precision, not emotion. The universe is impartial. It doesn't reward or punish. It reflects. It mirrors back what you continually affirm, whether in faith or in fear. Florence once told a student who constantly complained of being unlucky, "Your misfortune is your declaration in disguise." The student, puzzled, asked what she meant. Florence smiled and said, "Stop announcing your defeats, and you'll stop living them." Within weeks, that student began changing his vocabulary. Instead of saying, "I can't get a break," he said, "Everything is working in my favor, even if I can't see it yet." The shift was subtle but powerful. The world around him seemed to bend in response. Small wins, helpful people, synchronicities. It wasn't coincidence. It was language alignment. The universe had always been listening. It simply needed clearer instructions. The second sacred phrase Florence emphasized is, I have. It's the language of gratitude, not lack. Gratitude is the magnetic field of manifestation. When you affirm, I have, you acknowledge the good that already exists, which multiplies it. Say, I have peace, and peace begins expanding in your awareness. Say, I have strength, and your body seems to respond with renewed vitality. Say, I have opportunities, and they begin appearing in the most unexpected ways. Gratitude is not denial, it's declaration. You're not pretending everything is perfect. You're calling attention to what's already blessed in your life, thus amplifying that frequency. But the universe isn't fooled by hollow affirmations. Florence was adamant about this. You cannot declare abundance while secretly clutching fear. The vibration doesn't match. The power of I have lies in emotional authenticity. You don't have to fake joy, but you must find something real to appreciate. Something that feels true. Maybe it's the comfort of your pillow, the taste of morning coffee, or the sound of laughter from someone you love. Start there. Build from there. As Florence said, gratitude is the bridge from despair to delight. In today's world, people chase miracles but overlook the mechanics of them. Every miracle begins as an alignment of word and feeling. You can't sow seeds of not enough and harvest abundance. Florence often said that when you talk about what's missing, you anchor yourself to that frequency. The way out isn't denial, it's declaration. I have shifts the focus from emptiness to presence. It tells the universe, this vibration feels good. More of this, please. Now let's bring this truth to the third powerful statement, I choose. This is the phrase that returns the crown to your head. It ends the cycle of victimhood and reclaims creative authority. When you say, I choose, you're no longer reacting to life, you're directing it. Instead of saying, this always happens to me, declare, I choose to learn from this and move forward. Instead of, I have no control, speak, I choose to stay calm and respond wisely. I choose is a declaration of sovereignty. It tells the universe that you remember who you are, a conscious participant in creation, not a helpless passenger. This isn't wishful thinking. It's conscious authorship. Florence taught that the spoken word is a form of mental alchemy. When you say, I choose peace, you transmute chaos into calm. When you say, I choose faith, fear dissolves. You are never at the mercy of external events when your inner speech is disciplined. Every situation, no matter how tangled, can be reprogrammed by new words anchored in conviction. And now, I want you to pause for a breath. Reflect for a moment on how you've been talking to yourself this week. What stories have you been narrating? Are your words building bridges or barriers? Florence Scovel Shinn would tell you gently, you can't have a new life with an old language. The transformation begins when you decide to guard your tongue as carefully as you guard your dreams. Before we continue, take this as your invitation, not just to listen, but to join this journey of conscious creation. If these insights awaken something in you, make sure you subscribe and stay with this community of people learning to speak the language of miracles. Leave a comment telling us which phrase resonates most with you. I am, I have, or I choose. Don't just click a like. Share your declaration. Let the universe see your words written in action. And if you feel a shift stirring inside, tell us how it feels. What's one sentence you're choosing to rewrite in your life starting today? Because that act, that choice to speak differently, might be the moment your entire story begins to change. Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings are not dusty philosophy. They are living codes for those who dare to apply them. And you, right now, are one of those rare souls taking the first step toward mastery of your own vibration. Your words are the building blocks of your destiny. Use them as Florence did, with courage, clarity, and conviction. From this point forward, no phrase leaves your mouth by accident. Each one is a decree, and the universe is still listening, pen in hand, ready to write your next chapter exactly as you command. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, you are the sculptor, and your words are the chisel. Every moment you open your mouth, you're shaping the invisible clay of your life. That idea can feel daunting at first, the realization that nothing you say is meaningless. But once it sinks in, it becomes thrilling. You start to see language as your most valuable creative tool. You begin to understand that every sentence carries a seed of destiny. Speak in limitation, and life shrinks to fit your words. Speak in expansion, and the world stretches to meet your vision. Let's look deeper into how this mechanism really works. Imagine your mind as a vast recording studio. Every time you repeat a thought or phrase, you're layering tracks. I can't do this. That's one track. I never get a break. Another track. Over time, those recordings become your internal soundtrack, looping quietly under every action you take. The body, the emotions, and even the opportunities that cross your path start to move in rhythm with that soundtrack. The beauty is that you can rewrite it at any time. Florence taught that words backed by faith act like a new master recording. They override the static of doubt. I am guided. I have divine protection. I choose success. These new affirmations begin to erase the background noise of limitation, one conscious repetition at a time. Here's where most people falter. They speak powerful words for a day or two, then slip back into the old soundtrack of worry. But language mastery is a daily discipline, not a one-time experiment. Florence often told her students to watch their words like a jeweler watches a diamond. Precision matters. You don't say, I hope to be healthy someday. You say, I am radiantly healthy now. You don't whisper, maybe something good will happen. You declare, good is happening for me now. The present tense is crucial because the universe operates in the eternal now. There's no future in divine law, only unfolding presence. It's fascinating that modern psychology supports what Florence knew intuitively. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain rewires itself according to repeated statements and imagery. Every affirmation you repeat literally reshapes neural pathways, making new realities easier to perceive and experience. The metaphysical and the scientific are not separate worlds. They are mirrors of the same truth. When you combine the conviction of Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings with the understanding of modern science, you realize that you're not just hoping for change. You're architecting it from within. But remember, language without feeling is like a melody with no rhythm. Emotion is the electricity that makes words alive. You don't need to shout. You just need to feel what you say. When you speak with genuine emotion, calm confidence, quiet joy, deep gratitude, the vibration behind your words becomes unmistakable. Florence always emphasized sincerity over performance. You don't have to fake enthusiasm. You simply need to anchor your words in belief. Even if your belief is small at first, your persistence waters it until it grows. There's a beautiful practice Florence shared that many of her followers still use. She suggested that right before sleep, you cleanse your inner dialogue. As you drift between wakefulness and dreams, affirm gently, I am one with divine order. All things are working together for my good. This is not wishful thinking. It's a spiritual technology. During sleep, your subconscious mind receives and multiplies whatever message you've sent it last. By ending your day with affirmations of alignment, you plant seeds that sprout into favorable circumstances by morning. And when you wake up, the first words that leave your lips should set your tone for the day. I am grateful. I have endless potential. I choose peace. Florence called these morning decrees, sacred statements that command the atmosphere before the noise of the world tries to claim your attention. Try it for a week. You'll begin to notice that challenges seem smaller, that timing flows smoother, and that coincidences begin to serve your highest good. It's not coincidence at all. It's correspondence. Your inner words and outer world start to move in harmony. At this point, you might wonder, can something so simple really change a life? Florence would smile knowingly and say, it's simple because the truth is never complicated. The difficulty isn't in the method. It's in our resistance to consistency. We live surrounded by conversations of fear, complaint, and doubt. To maintain a language of faith in such an environment is revolutionary. Every time you speak consciously, you're not just changing your life, you're altering the frequency of the space around you. People feel it, situations bend toward it, and reality reorganizes to match it. And if you've been struggling, if you feel like your words haven't worked yet, Florence would tell you, don't give up after the first prayer. The harvest doesn't come overnight. Keep sowing. The soil of the universe never fails. It simply obeys the timing of growth. Every I am, I have, and I choose you've spoken has already taken root. Even if you can't see the shoots breaking through yet, they are growing beneath the surface. Trust that. Keep watering your declarations with faith, and you'll wake up one day surrounded by the very reality you once only spoke about. So let's bring this back to you. What are you saying most often these days? What do you repeat about your money, your body, your relationships, your purpose? Every area of your life is echoing the vocabulary you use about it. Change your words, and the echo will change. Start today. Whisper something new. I am deserving. I have more than enough. I choose to live in peace. Feel those phrases, breathe them, and notice how your body responds. That is the moment the transformation begins. Not when the world changes, but when your language does. Your voice is your wand, and your words are your spells. Speak as Florence Scovel Shinn spoke, with certainty, love, and divine authority. Because when you do, the universe doesn't just listen. It rushes to perform every word. Florence Scovel Shinn believed that every human being carries within them a direct line to the infinite, a kind of cosmic switchboard that never disconnects. The problem isn't that the line is busy. It's that we rarely speak clearly enough for the message to go through. Our doubts, fears, and contradictions scramble the signal. We affirm abundance, then immediately cancel the order by saying, "But nothing ever works out for me." We ask for peace, then gossip about chaos. Florence used to say, "Faith and fear both demand to be fulfilled. The one you feed will win." That single statement summarizes the law of spoken creation. Every sentence is either watering your faith or feeding your fear. When you speak from faith, you are in harmony with divine order. When you speak from fear, you align with disorder. The universe isn't punishing you. It's just mirroring your vibration. Think of it as a cosmic echo. Whatever you shout into the canyon of creation will come back to you amplified. If you shout, "I'm not enough," the echo will surround you with experiences that confirm it. But if you declare, "I am worthy and guided," the echo shifts, bringing you evidence that supports that identity. Florence taught that the echo doesn't delay out of cruelty. It delays until your conviction is strong enough to hold the blessing. Here's the subtle truth she wanted everyone to grasp. It's not enough to speak the words. You must become them. To say, "I am prosperous," is not to boast, but to align your energy with prosperity itself. When you live as though abundance is natural, you start acting, deciding, and even walking differently. The energy of conviction begins to surround you like an aura, and that frequency attracts matching realities. Florence called this acting on the invisible. Before you see the manifestation, you behave as if it's already secured. This is not delusion. It's faith in motion. Your words, backed by consistent emotional tone, create momentum. That's why people who constantly talk about how tired, unlucky, or overwhelmed they are rarely escape those cycles. Their energy never pauses long enough to shift direction. Florence advised her students to break those loops with sacred interruptions. The next time you're about to say something self-defeating, stop and rephrase immediately. Instead of "I'm so behind," try "I'm catching up with grace and ease." Instead of "I never have enough time," try "everything important gets done in perfect timing." With practice, this becomes second nature. You begin catching the old language before it takes root. In one of her writings, Florence described a woman who constantly said, "I never remember anything." Unsurprisingly, she was forgetful. Florence told her to change her language to, "I have a perfect memory for everything I need to know." The woman protested, saying it felt false. Florence replied, "Say it until it feels true." Within weeks, the woman began to recall details effortlessly. What changed wasn't her brain. It was the signal she was broadcasting. This is how divine law works. Your word becomes flesh, literally. To strengthen your own command, make a habit of speaking into quiet moments. Affirm while walking, showering, driving, or preparing your meals. Let "I am," "I have," and "I choose" become your internal soundtrack. Over time, you'll notice that negative thoughts lose their grip simply because they can't compete for airtime. This is how you retrain both your mind and the universe to obey a higher order. Now, let's touch on a vital principle Florence repeated often: the law of non-resistance. She taught that struggle closes the door to manifestation. When you speak words of frustration, you build walls around your blessings. But when you speak with trust, even when nothing looks promising, the walls fall. "I am calm," "I have perfect timing," "I choose to trust the process." These phrases don't deny difficulty. They invite divine intelligence to organize the solution. Life flows where resistance ends. And here's something beautiful about language. It doesn't just change circumstances. It changes you. When you consistently speak faith, your nervous system learns safety. Your breathing deepens, your posture opens, your energy becomes magnetic. People respond differently to you because your vibration feels steady. Florence said, "Your word sets your world in order." That order begins inside, in the body, in the emotions, in the quiet confidence that radiates through presence. If you've ever wondered why Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings still resonate a century later, it's because they touch something timeless. the truth that power has always lived within. No ritual, no complicated formula, just words aligned with belief. In a noisy world, simplicity is revolutionary. And yet, it's not about reciting affirmations mechanically. It's about embodying them. The true test of faith is when you continue to speak light even while walking through shadow. The one who persists becomes fluent in divine language, and fluency turns vibration into manifestation. Now, before we move to the next part, take a moment to ground these truths. You've learned that your language is your law, your declarations are your design, and your tone determines your timeline. If these words are resonating with you, share your voice with this growing community. Leave a comment below and tell us one phrase you're choosing to speak over your life starting tonight. It might be, I am guided by divine timing, or I have everything I need within me, or I choose joy no matter what. Whatever it is, declare it publicly. Not as performance, but as participation. Let the energy of shared intention amplify your words. And if you haven't yet subscribed, this is the perfect time. Join this circle of people rediscovering the wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn, a space where ancient truth meets modern manifestation. When you subscribe, you're not just clicking a button. You're committing to a higher vocabulary, a conscious evolution of speech. Together, we're building a community fluent in miracles. People who understand that words don't just describe life, they design it. Now take a deep breath. Feel the power of language moving through you like a current of light. You are no longer a passive receiver of fate. You are a transmitter of divine intention. Every phrase you speak from this moment forward has the potential to rewrite your destiny. And the universe, patient and loving, is waiting to respond to your next command. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your own destiny." She meant it quite literally. Each statement you make carves out an energetic path ahead of you. To those who doubt this, look no further than the evidence of your own life. Every pattern, every repeated situation, every recurring emotion has been shaped by the thoughts and phrases that live rent-free in your mind. The universe is impartial but unfailingly obedient. It cannot contradict your declarations. It can only magnify them. That's why learning to command your words is not just spiritual advice, it's survival wisdom. Think of your words as architects and your emotions as the builders. Without the words, emotion has no blueprint. Without the emotion, words remain paper plans with no structure. The miracle happens when both align, when what you say and what you feel are in agreement. That is the moment creation accelerates. Florence taught that you must learn to speak from the end, meaning speak as though the good you desire is already accomplished. Instead of saying, "I hope I'll be free from worry one day," you affirm, "I am peaceful and confident now." By doing this, you collapse the distance between the wish and its fulfillment. The universe doesn't respond to time. It responds to tone. And tone is everything. The energy behind your words carries far more weight than the syllables themselves. Whisper, "I am safe," with genuine belief, and it's more powerful than shouting 1,000 anxious affirmations. That's why Florence emphasized calm repetition over dramatic performance. She encouraged her students to speak truth quietly, consistently, and with love, the same way you'd reassure a frightened child. When you talk to the universe, you're talking to the creative power that shaped galaxies. You don't have to beg it. You just have to trust it. Florence also warned about the invisible sabotage of idle words. Every complaint, every cynical remark, every "nothing ever works for me" cancels progress. You may think you're joking, but the universe doesn't laugh at sarcasm. It translates it into command. So begin today to treat your language as sacred ground. If you catch yourself speaking from lack or fear, pause and start over. Say, "Cancel that. I choose a better thought." You are the editor of your reality. The moment you rewrite the sentence, you rewrite the story. One of Florence's most famous teachings was about the law of substitution, the art of replacing a negative image with a positive one. Whenever you're tempted to say, "I'm so unlucky," replace it with, "Everything is aligning for my good." When you want to say, "I never have enough," change it to, "I always have exactly what I need," and more is on the way. You're not pretending, you're pre-creating. You're giving the universe a new template to follow. And because energy follows instruction, it begins to reorganize your life to fit the new pattern. Now imagine living this way every day, catching each limiting phrase before it escapes, converting it into power, and sending it back to the universe like a prayer wrapped in conviction. That's when you begin to feel the shift. Your mornings carry more ease, conversations flow with harmony, small miracles seem to show up uninvited. That's not coincidence. That's correspondence. You've finally learned the dialect of divine order. Florence used to remind her listeners that the spoken word has a boomerang effect. It must return to the sender. So speak only what you're willing to receive. Speak of health, and your body begins to cooperate. Speak of love, and affection finds its way to you. Speak of peace, and chaos loses its permission to exist in your space. She would say, if you want to know what you've been saying, look around you. The outer world is just the echo of your inner dialogue. So here's your invitation, and your challenge. For the next 7 days, treat your speech as a sacred experiment. Use only 3 pillars: I am, I have, and I choose. Say them aloud in the morning and again before sleep. Let them guide your actions through the day. I am supported. I have strength. I choose joy. Each phrase is a brushstroke on the canvas of your new reality. And if doubt tries to whisper, remember Florence's wisdom. Never weaken your word by doubting it. The moment you hesitate, speak again with renewed confidence. Every repetition strengthens the vibration until faith becomes your natural language. Understand this deeply. The universe is not testing you. It's training with you. It wants your success. It delights in your clarity. It mirrors your tone like water mirrors the sky. The more certain you sound, the faster reality rearranges to match it. And even when nothing seems to move, trust that the invisible is shifting beneath the surface. Words work in the unseen long before they bloom in the visible. Now take a slow breath. Feel that current of creative energy that has been inside you since the beginning. It's the same current that Florence Scovel Shinn discovered and taught so boldly to her students, the same one that has crossed decades to reach you here, in this very moment. You are not repeating old teachings. You are reactivating eternal truth. Speak it with reverence. Live it with devotion. And above all, remember that your tongue is the switch that turns on miracles. As we close, I want to leave you with warmth and encouragement. If this message resonated with you, join our circle. Subscribe and become part of a community that speaks power into existence. Not the usual click and scroll, a genuine connection with people rewriting their reality one phrase at a time. In the comments, share your story. What has changed for you since you began speaking differently? Which phrase, I am, I have, or I choose, has carried the most transformation in your life? Let's fill this space with living proof that Florence's words still breathe power. And when you write, don't just type, declare. Let every sentence you share be an affirmation that the universe can echo back to you. Together we're proving that consciousness, when spoken with love and certainty, creates tangible miracles. You are not learning to manifest. You are remembering that you always could. The universe has never stopped listening. It was only waiting for you to speak clearly. So go ahead, lift your chin, breathe the invisible light around you, and start ordering from the right menu. Your words are the currency of creation. Spend them wisely. And as Florence Scovel Shinn would remind us, every word you speak is a seed. Plant with faith, and harvest with joy. Now step out into your day as the author of your destiny, fluent in the language of miracles, because the universe has already picked up the call, and your order is on its way.